Yeah, does facing Dylan help in the sense that, like, you know, I mean, he could throw, and Shedeur can throw, but Dylan can throw too.
You can't compare Dylan to Shedeur Sanders. Don't do that. That's Dylan is a different man. The way he play, the way he go out there and attack.
How are they different?
Just Dylan is a dog. Just know that. You'll see on Saturday.
As we started this season, fans were excited about the Colorado Buffaloes superstar quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. The word on the street was that our boy, Sanders, might just be the next big thing, a Heisman Trophy contender, no less. But what did actually happen? In this video, we'll see Paul Finebaum's reaction to Shedeur Sanders, who is turning the college football world upside down. So here we go. Just a short while ago, Colorado had the upper hand, ruling the roost in the sports arena. But as they say, the tables have turned. This time around, the Cornhuskers have managed to settle the score. On the popular ESPN show First Take, sports analyst Paul Finebaum laid the blame squarely on head coach Deion Sanders. He argues that despite the promises of a radical transformation, the team hasn't shown much progress from last season. As they say, the beginning is always the most important. In Sanders' case, he started the year with a bang, being among the top 15 contenders for the much-coveted trophy. His opening match against FCS North Dakota State was nothing short of a spectacle, boosting the already high expectations. With a completion of 76.5% of his passes, which amounted to 445 yards and 4 touchdowns, you could say he stole the show.
I was like practice, just trusting the play call, know what time it is. They left too much time on the clock, and we knew that. Nobody on the sideline panicked, flinched. Nobody didn't believe. The coaches just knew like what was going to happen, and I definitely knew what was going to happen because you're going to do what it takes to win. But they simply left too much time on the clock. And you know what mode we went? We went Brady mode / legendary mode.
Shedeur, Giovanni Antonio with 5 catches late in the game. Did it just kind of feel like it was his time?
No, we got a lot of great receivers, even some players that wasn't able to get on the field today. So it's just about who's going and whose day it is.
However, every silver lining has a cloud, and Sanders' second week performance was less stellar. He scored 1 touchdown by completing 60.5% of his passes for 244 yards. Still, he threw 1 interception that led to a touchdown for the opponent, a bitter pill to swallow. The match was pivotal, a key face-off with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Still, it ended in a substantial loss for the Buffaloes. It ain't over till it's over. And Espen's Paul Finebaum stands by this. According to him, Sanders' potential to bag the Heisman Trophy this season is not promising.
Shedeur in his mind is saying that, hey, Colorado is everyone's Super Bowl because they think they're so great. I can kind of see where Paul is going, but he's saying in this.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. As I was saying, he meant all eyes on them.
You think so?
Yes. Like we watched the Super Bowl.
So you see how many celebrities were at their games last year?
And Paul went on to say the piece that we're missing, he named Stephen A. He named different people that came to the games last year. And what he was saying, will they come this year?
Finebaum's words were as clear as a bell. The real issue, the elephant in the room, if you will, isn't Shedeur, but his father, he stated. What kind of ship is Deion Sanders running at Colorado? He pledged to usher in a new era this year, yet he bristled at anyone who dared voice criticism, and we're still seeing the same old team. Finebaum is convinced that Colorado's game isn't as tough as it used to be last season. Remember when they put up a 4-8 record on the board? This year, it seems like they're not packing the same punch. Last season, Shedeur was taken down a fair bit. That's right, he hit the turf too many times for comfort. This season, he's been feeling the heat with the opposition breathing down his neck more often than not. With a whopping 6 sacks in the most recent game, Finebaum is getting worried. He's questioning whether Sanders can take the heat if this trend continues. Finebaum believes that Sanders might throw in the towel. He suggests that Sanders is probably looking for an escape route as soon as this season wraps up. Yes, after the Colorado Buffaloes stumbled to a 28-10 defeat against Nebraska, it was clear that there were tough times on both sides of the field. The ground shook and the Buffaloes just didn't measure up. Finebaum took a look at this, put 2 and 2 together, and came up with a fascinating prediction. According to Finebaum, Deion Sanders, the big man with the whistle, might not be at the helm of the Buffalo ship next year. That's right, you heard it here first. If things don't go up and the Buffs miss the mark to qualify for a bowl game, our friend Coach Prime might be packing his bags.
Do you agree with Paul Finebaum? You think Deion Sanders is going to leave after this year? Yes or no? And tell me why.
Gracias. I'm going to say he's been all over the place. Paul Finebaum has. I'm going to be honest. He's been all over the place.
Remind me of somebody I know.
And I have been all over the place.
I didn't say that. I said remind me of somebody I know, though.
Yeah. I'm always on the same track. He's been all over the place. He was one day saying he loves him. The next day he hated him. He was garbage. And then Deion went after Finebaum. We've seen Matt Barnes go after Finebaum. Finebaum's all over the place.
Of course, in the if or when debate, Finebaum seems to lean more towards when. He's pretty convinced that the Buffaloes won't make the cut this time. Let's be honest, chances of Deion Sanders sticking around for next year seem slim. Finebaum rejoiced energetically during the Matt Barry show. Imagine we're in a season where they don't manage to make it to a bowl game. Deion will then start scouting for a plan B, a way out to a new opportunity, without Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders around. What's the big pull for him to continue grinding?
All right. If you guys been following the market, it had its worst week of the year last week, which pretty much trends with my picks that have kind of come off the rails a little bit. But that will not hold us back from still getting after on the market. Just to get us started, give you guys my portfolio, because I don't want to go through this and be like, why didn't you buy so-and-so? Why didn't you buy so-and-so? So we'll assume
What I'm saying is, relish the Deion spectacle while you can. Trust me, it will be showing elsewhere next year. Maybe it won't be the main event, but an off-site attraction. Or, who knows, it might even take center stage, but it won't unfold in Boulder. Finebaum pointed out that one thing that might make it tough for Sanders to bounce back is Colorado's offense, or rather, their lack of a good one. Last season, no quarterback got tackled behind the line more than Sanders. Guess what? Things aren't looking much brighter this year. Moving right along, can you believe that in just 2 games, Sanders was taken down 7 times? You heard it right, 7 times. This tells us that the situation hasn't exactly taken a turn for the better. There's been a bit of a shake-up in the team lineup, with many pointing their fingers at Sanders' use of the transfer portal. With 43 fresh faces added to the Buffaloes this season, there's been a bit of a struggle to build a strong unity among the team, particularly within the offensive line. Development hiccups are still popping up here and there, and Finebaum thinks Sanders' celebrity status might just be concealing some more serious issues under the surface.
I've had my issues with Deion Sanders recently over things he's done, but I was rooting for them. I was having fun watching. It was an exciting game. But what concerned me more than anything else was the way Deion coached the game down the stretch. Is he in control of the sidelines? Does Shedeur have the final word on everything? Because at a time, and I'm sure you thought of this, and I know others have said it, but at a time when you needed to run the clock out, I mean, they're just firing away, giving the opponent an opportunity to come back and win the game. They didn't, but...
Now, there's no denying that Sanders' coaching style has been turning heads, drawing support from some prominent fans. While all that might look good from the outside, Finebaum can't help but wonder if it's all just smoke and mirrors. Strip away all the fuss and the fan base, and what exactly are we left with? He finds himself asking. In the Big 12 lineup, Colorado finds itself at the end of the queue with an average of just 1.67 yards per carry. Shockingly, last season, they held the dubious honor of being second worst in the entire nation by giving up a whopping 56 sacks. That's right, even an average of almost 5 sacks per game, the highest across the NCAA, couldn't jolt them from their unfortunate spot.
Yeah, it's definitely panic. But as far as Coach Prime, it's rinse repeat. It's the same story.
Now, transitioning to defense, the Buffaloes were also in a tough spot. Last season, they gave away a substantial 176.4 rushing yards per game, which landed them in a rather disheartening 110th place on the national scale. On top of that, they found themselves in the 112th spot for allowing 73 runs of 10 yards or more. Finebaum offered his 2 cents on the matter. I can't even begin to imagine, he said, how Sanders is coping with such continuous embarrassment. Week after week, the situation seems unrelenting. I won't be surprised if he's already scouting for a different avenue. So, guys, do we have a rocky road ahead for Sanders? Only time will tell. What are your predictions this season? Guys, let us know in the chat below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to press the like button and subscribe for more updates.